Hey, 7th grade. This video is going to serve as a resource for how to access the online learning for all of your classes. This video is going to be placed on the 7th grade website, which is what you see in front of you, and will remain on this landing page. So anytime that you need a refresher on the topics that we're about to cover, you can just return to this video. The video is a little long, so you can use the times below to jump right to the point of the video that you need when you come back for a refresher. So to start with, to access all of your classes, you're going to need to log into Clever. Now this process is going to look a lot like what you've been doing in school all year. You're going to need to open up a browser on your device. I have Chrome up, but any web browser will work. And you're going to need to go to Clever, so www.clever.com. Once you're there, make sure that you're logging in as a student and not as a teacher. You'll see that in the top right-hand corner. So log in as student. And then you're going to type in your school name, so Commodore, and it will populate as you start typing. So Commodore John Rogers, elementary and middle. Then log in with Active Directory. So this is where it starts to look a little different, but you're going to do the exact same thing that you've been doing on your school devices. So you're going to use your student ID for your username. So student ID number at bcpss.org. And then your password, which all of you should know, but I don't want to put up here since this is a public website. If you need your password, just reach out to your teacher and they can tell you what it is. So once you've accessed the Clever landing page, you can see all of the tools that you're going to use. The one that you'll be using the most will be Google Classroom, which is right at the top, but you can scroll through and see several other tools, websites, applications that will come in handy while we're doing remote learning. So I'm going to click Google Classroom. And once this loads, it's going to show me your ELA classes, your math class, and your science class. Now I'll let Ms. Casimir, Mr. Jackson, Mr. Coffey take it from here.
Hey kids, long time no see. Or, well, I guess I still don't see you, but hopefully you have a chance to watch this and you get a few minutes of seeing me while I explain how we are going to be accessing work during our remote learning sessions. So let's get right into it. The first thing that you need to do is make sure that you are logging into Google Classroom. Now, once you're in there for your class, at the beginning of every week, that means either Sunday night or early Monday morning, you're going to see an assignment that looks somewhat like this. It's going to have some pretty extensive instructions, and it's going to indicate what time frame the work is for. Now, just like Mr. Jackson and Mr. Coffey, thank you, Mr. Jackson, you will have a tracker to note your work on. So in this case, we are going to be alternating between teacher-led video sessions through Blackboard Collaborate with me, Mr. Cardarella, Ms. Smiles, and Mr. Visker, as well as Wit and Wisdom video lessons. You'll notice that none of the classwork here has any time. That's simply because it's built into the actual video lesson time. For me, it'll be just like class where I say, now the timer is on for 5 minutes. Make sure you do your notice and wonder. And in the Wit and Wisdom video lessons, it'll tell you when to pause and do specific pieces of work. You'll note down here in the blue, we've got some intervention work. Wit and Wisdom really helps you guys become thinkers when you've read or accessed something new. Our intervention programs are designed to help you become stronger readers. So we want you to continue doing that. The expectation is that you're doing at least 2 sessions a week for at least 20 minutes. So when you have done any of that work, whether it's the classwork, the independent work, the lesson, or intervention, you're going to type in done in the status bar. Our hope is that you get as many of these things done in a week as you can, but obviously we know that you guys have some limitations. So that's why we have the notes section here. Let me know what's going on. See if I can help you. Let's go back here. Along with the tracker, you have the daily lesson documents. This is where you're actually going to be putting your work. So they're very clearly marked with classwork and independent work. Now, most of the classwork is not going to be this simple, which is the notice and wonder chart. However, the independent work is usually going to be a little bit more involved. It's going to be some independent reading, and by independent, if you are comfortable reading it on your own, you can. Otherwise, Mr. Cardarella's YouTube channel has it, in addition to Ms. Smiles's YouTube channel. And then there'll be some short writing pieces to make sure that you guys understand what you're doing. For every day's lesson, there will be a document. Now, I'm not going to lie, I was a little lazy today and I only put 3 in here out of 5. That's okay. In addition, and that's not posted in here now, the 2 videos that are the wit and wisdom videos will be posted in here as well. If you have any questions, shoot me a comment in here, text me, Instagram me, find me, and I will answer them. See you later.
Hi everyone. What I'm going to walk through here is how you're going to access all of the math resources you're going to need for however long we may be away from the school building. Where I'm at right now, and what you can see on the screen is something called Google Classroom. Students can access this directly from Clever, which they should be very familiar logging into. They log into it literally, I would say, every single class during the school year. Here, the most important thing they should view first, if they haven't done so already, is this weekly tracker directions video. It's a few minutes, but what it does is it's going to detail the expectations in terms of the tracker, which is where students are going to go in order to receive their assignments for the week, laid out in a nice, neat, easy to follow order. So after they view this video, they're going to be able to open their tracker, which is going to look like this. In this tracker, they can put their first and last name, and what it's going to list is when assignments are due. It's going to list the notes, which are in yellow, and the assignments, which are in green, that they're expected to complete. So all the notes will come with an accompanying video and the slides, and they should be taking notes on a piece of paper, or hopefully they still have their interactive notebook, okay? Down here in this notes for Mr. Jackson column, they will just need to write anything that additional notes that they feel like they couldn't reach out with me, at that time, and fill in this column here. Now, down here there is a homework column as well. Depending on your individual student, the homework may look a little different, but their tracker will be accurate. So what you're doing is just looking at their tracker and seeing what the assignment is, making sure they complete that assignment. Now, all of the assignments will be inside Google Classroom as well. So all they would have to do is find that assignment inside Google Classroom. So say it's this one that they have to complete. They would click it, and it would end up opening to whatever assignment they need to complete. So with those instructions given, I also want to be clear that I am available to be contacted either through phone, so either call or text, and email as well, so do not hesitate with that. I don't want the reason that assignments are not being completed is because there is confusion in terms of access. So if you are struggling with anything, whether it is content, because I'm here to answer that as well, obviously, or access, please do not hesitate, because I do want all students to continue to grow as much as they can throughout these more difficult times. So do reach out as needed.
Hi, Commodore. What I want to go over right now are some tips and tricks for how to navigate science class during this time of students and teachers being apart. Before I begin, I just want to highlight, as always, feel free if after you've watched this video, if you have any questions or concerns, please reach out and we'll make sure to answer those as quickly as we can. Let me draw your attention to the screen you see in front of you. This is our homepage for Google Classroom. All students should be extremely familiar with this platform since they use it every single day in science class. Students can log into Google Classroom either by going to the Google Classroom website, or students will probably be most familiar with logging in through their Clever accounts. This will be the same way they log into their Clever accounts in math and humanities classes as well. When students get to Google Classroom, I want to point out an announcement that I will always have at the top of the page. That announcement will say science and it will have the week's dates. Here you can see my example is science, April 6th through 10th. Students can click on that announcement and they are going to see some directions as well as 2 items that are posted. These 2 items will be the keys to success for that week. They will outline everything you need to know. The first is this short video called Science Weekly Tracker Directions. Every week I'll post about a 2-minute video that explains every assignment and expectation that needs to be met that week, where to find those things, and ways that I can help and support when students complete those. Secondly is this tracker that's called Week of, and then it will have the dates for that week. Let's take a look at that tracker really quickly. When students enter the tracker, I want to point out some of the columns that are here. First is status. When students complete an assignment, they can mark that they are done or have completed that. Second is the due date for that assignment. We have the name of the assignment. Now this one, very important, and I hope is helpful for parents. We have the location of the assignment. Almost all assignments will be posted in Google Classroom, but occasionally I will ask students to use another application like Newsy LA or Edulastic. Students are familiar with all these things, and just like everything else, it can be accessed directly through their Clever account. Finally, there's a column here for notes for Mr. Coffee. If there's any questions or concerns or there's help needed to complete or access something, a note can be left there and I can check in with you and that student to make sure all things are answered. So just to recap, please make sure every week you're checking out the announcement that has science and that week's dates. What I would recommend is checking the tracker and also watching the short video that will outline everything you need for that week. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out.
So hopefully you feel more comfortable with how to access online learning. We realize though that this is a completely new process, so if you run into any problems, have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us. Our email addresses are included on this screen, but you can also contact us through Google Classroom or by calling or texting us.